Welcome, Real Bookie. I'm so glad that you're here. On this video, you'll learn interesting facts about the teams in the AFC South. First team is the Houston Texans. Founded in 1999, and their own Bob McNair had the team until he passed away in 2018. The team from Houston came into existence as an expansion team in 2002. Houston had a team known as the Houston Oilers until 1996, before moving to Nashville and becoming the Titans. NRG Stadium is the home of the Texans. Deep in the heart of Texas, NRG Stadium has been the home to the Houston Texans since they started playing in 2002. The Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, along with the Texas Bowl and Texas Kickoff Game, are annual traditions at NRG Stadium in Houston. Why the Texans, and who are they? Houston obviously is located in the state of Texas. There were several names that were discussed for the name of the franchise. A few of them include the Apollos, the Bobcats, Stallions, and Wildcatters. That of course goes along with the Texans. Historical records for the Houston Texans. Heading into the 2023 season, Houston has won 145 games, and 4 of them in the postseason. The Texans have had some really solid players, including Arian Foster, Andre Johnson, and J.J. Watt. Super Bowl titles for the Texans. The Houston Texans have not only never won a Super Bowl title, but also have never even played in the Super Bowl. Final Houston Texans tidbits. When the Texans were announced as the 32nd team, the league gave the Los Angeles Rams 6 months to figure out their situation. That NFL then moved the organization to St. Louis, but that came after the NFL owners voted 29-0 to give the new franchise to Houston. Charlie Casserly was the first ever general manager for the Houston Texans. The first head coach of the franchise was Dom Capers. He was hired on January 21st of 2001. Capers came to Houston with experience with his expansion teams, as he won in Carolina during the first 4 seasons. Houston has had 8 coaches in their franchise history. 2 of them been interim head coaches. Only 1 head coach has finished over 500 with the Texans. That was Bill O'Brien from 2014 to 2020. He finished 52-48 with 4 divisional titles. Next up, we have the Indianapolis Colts. The Indianapolis Colts are a member of the AFC South and a team furthest north from any 4 teams. The Colts have been a member of the National Football League since 1953, playing in the Western Conference until 1969, then moving to the American Football Conference in 1970. The franchise started in Baltimore before moving to Indianapolis after the 1983 season. Lucas Oil Stadium is the home of the Colts. The Indianapolis Colts started playing games at the old Memorial Stadium and did that until 1983. Then the RCA Dome came into play and was around until 2007. 2008 was the start of Lucas Oil Stadium, and that's where the Colts currently play. Why the Colts, and who are they? When the Colts were founded in 1953, they played their first 30 seasons in Baltimore. The name Colts was for a Baltimore history of horse breeding and racing. Like many teams in the league, the team had a fan contest for naming of the team. This was won by Charles Evans. When they started, the Colts were green and silver uniforms. Historical records for the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts actually have a long history of winning. In fact, heading into the 2023 season, the Colts have nearly 550 wins as a franchise. They've also won 23 playoff games and of course 2 Super Bowl wins since the merger, and 2 losses. Peyton Manning is the record book for many of the achievements and certainly dominates the Colts record book. He finished with nearly 55,000 passing yards and 399 touchdowns. His favorite target was Marvin Harrison, who caught 1,102 passes for 14,580 yards, and Edgerrin James, the talented running back, finished with 800 yards, just shy of 10,064 touchdowns. Super Bowl titles for the Colts. The Colts have 3 pre-NFL merger championships. Those came back-to-back in 1958 and 1959, and then again in 1968. Since the merger, the Colts have had 2 Super Bowl titles. The first came in Super Bowl V in 1970. Indianapolis Colts Hall of Famers. The Hall of Famers from both Baltimore and Indianapolis are included. The Colts have 15 players in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. They also have 5 coaches and executives in as well. Final Indianapolis Colts tidbits. Many do not realize the Indianapolis Colts have a mascot. Blue is the official mascot of the Indianapolis Colts. He is a blue horse that always wears a white Colts jersey with a horseshoe on the front. Many talk about Tony Dungy and his success as a head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. While Dungy was very successful in winning a Super Bowl, the Colts have seen 3 head coaches since him, and they all went above 500. The last head coach in Colts history to finish under 500 in his career was Lindy Infante, who won just 12 of 32 games. Lastly, Keith Molesworth was the first head coach of the Colts, but lasted just 12 games. That paved a path for Webb Eubank, who was successful in his tenure, including winning the AP NFL Coach of the Year. Don Shula was next and won at 72% clip in just shy of 100 games. The third team in this video is the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jacksonville Jaguars are one of Florida's 3 National Football League teams. The Jaguars, along with the Buccaneers, Dolphins, enjoy the sunshine nearly year-round. Jacksonville has had a professional franchise since 1993. TIAA Bank Field is home of the Jaguars. Every home game that the Jaguars have played has been at TIAA Bank Field. Now, the name has changed throughout the years. The venue started as Jacksonville Municipal Stadium in 1995 before moving to Altel Stadium from 1997 to 2006. There was no sponsorship name for the 2007-2010 seasons, but ever since, EverBank Stadium has been the name of the stadium. Why the Jaguars and who are they? Like many teams in the National Football League, the Jacksonville Jaguars had a fan vote for the name of their team. There were many choices, such as Jaguars, Sharks, Stingrays, and Panthers, but the Jaguars were the ones selected. It's recorded that December 6, 1991 was the day they became the Jaguars. Historical records for the Jacksonville Jaguars. One of the most popular and successful names in Jaguar history is Fred Taylor. It's going to remain in the record book for a long time. Taylor finished his career with more than 11,200 rushing yards, a record most feel will never be touched. Another record that many feel will not be touched due to several reasons is Jimmy Smith and his team leading 12,287 receiving yards. Smith played with Jacksonville between 1995 and 2005. Jacksonville Jaguars Hall of Famers. It was not until 2022 that the Jacksonville Jaguars got their first player ever inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Tony Boselli, the big, strong offensive tackle with the Jaguars from 1995 to 2001. Final Jacksonville Jaguar tidbits. Jaguars have had 9 coaches in their team history. Tom Coughlin still remains the most successful, as he won nearly 53% of his games. Jack Del Rio was the longest tenured coach from 2003 to 2011. During the 2012 season, the Jaguars won 2 games. In the next 4 seasons, they combined for just 15. The 17 wins in 5 seasons are among the worst of all time, but 2020 was an all-time low for the franchise with just 1 win. Finally, we have the Tennessee Titans. Initially founded in Houston as the Oilers, the Tennessee Titans have been around since 1959. The franchise left Houston and went to Nashville in 1997. Since then, the Titans have been building steam as members of the National Football League. As competitors of the AFC South, the Titans have seen a fair share of success over the seasons. Nissan Stadium is home to the Titans. In Houston, the first place they played their home games was Jeppesen Stadium. They spent just a few seasons there before moving to Rice Stadium in 1965. This was another short stay before finally settling to the Houston Astrodome during the 1968 season. They stayed there until 1996, which was the end of the Houston time. When they moved to Nashville, they spent 1 season in the Memphis as a transition. The 1997 season was played at the Liberty Bowl Memorial Stadium, then Vanderbilt Stadium in Nashville in 1998 to give them time to build where they play now, Nissan Stadium. Nissan Stadium broke ground in 1997 and was opened in 1999. The attendance record for the stadium is 71,000, which is recently at a Taylor Swift concert. For football games, they typically hold around 69,000 fans. Why the Titans and who are they? Of course, the Oilers came from the long history of the oil rigs in the city of Houston. Many do not realize that the team was actually the Nashville Oilers for the first 2 seasons. Once again, like many teams in the National Football League, they held a team name contest. Historical records for the Tennessee Titans. Many know Earl Campbell was great, but do they realize how great? In just 15 games during the 1980 season, Campbell rushed for 1,934 yards. The most impressive part was he had 200 yards in a game 4 times that season, including back-to-back in weeks 7 and 8. Super Bowl titles for the Titans. The Titans earned 2 AFL championships prior to the AFL-NFL merger of 1970. Those came in 1960 and 1961. The Titans have been to the Super Bowl 1 time. It was in 1999. This was one of the most memorable games in Super Bowl history. Tennessee Titan Hall of Famers. The Titans/Oilers franchise has 16 guys in the Pro Hall of Fame, with 9 of them considered part of the franchise for more than just a season or 2. They also have 2 coaches and executives, but only for a short period of time. Final Tennessee Titans tidbits. The Titans do have a mascot, and his name is T-Rack. He is a raccoon, which represents the state animal of Tennessee. He has been at every game since the 1999 season. T-Rack is most properly known for its zip line from the top of the stadium. Bad news for the franchise, the Titans are one of the 12 NFL franchises to have never won a Super Bowl. In the 1999 season, the Titans were the only team that could beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. These 2 teams are division rivals and just could not get by them. The Titans beat them twice in the regular season, and in the AFC title game, beat them again. The franchise has taken a top pick in the NFL draft twice in their history. The first time they took John Mutzak, and the second time Earl Campbell. The franchise has not had a top pick since 1978. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. Please like and subscribe in order to get notified with our newest videos.